Hey, good afternoon traders, and welcome back to the channel. So we had a special request from one of the community members that commented on one of the videos and asked to analyze and do technical analysis on Bitcoin. So we're going to use the Coinbase chart, and I always want to start off by the longer term time frame so you can see we're kind of confined, or we are confined, inside this ascending channel or parallel, right? And that's important because it gives us a lot of context and a lot of historical perspective on kind of where things are, right? So we had multiple touch points at the top of the parallel. Obviously, we created the parallel based on these pivot tops. But what's interesting is we have this, M pattern here, right, historically, and we have potentially another M pattern here. So will things be different this time? Will Bitcoin not just go up to the top of this and then come back down and then touch the bottom of this parallel? I don't know. We'll have to find out. But I would lean towards not, for the simple fact that there's a lot of things different this time. I know you always hear, but this time's different. Well, this time is different because there is political support. Our president fully endorses Bitcoin. There's U.S. strategic reserves. There's Bitcoin treasury companies. There's just so much going on and so much law that's being enacted that is different than this time, right? So I want to analyze it through that perspective under the bullish context because of those things, but also because of what I'm seeing in the chart. So now I want to zoom in and I want to kind of show you what I see us currently in, and then compare that to historical. So the first thing I want to do is put on these two channels, okay? Because these two channels, for me, shape the price action of kind of where we're at today. So we have this channel here, which we fully respected. We got down to the bottom of it and never made it up to the top of it yet. But what it did was it created this bull, in my opinion, this bull flag, and this is the flagpole, right? So you have this like that. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Then you have this second parallel where we have 3 touch points at the bottom, 3 touch points at the top, and it looks like it's trying to get out, right? So you have this flagpole, and then you have this bullish consolidation, right? So what's interesting is on Thursday, and I'm going to zoom in. On Thursday, we had the breakout slightly, right? We overthrew it just a little bit. We closed above it, but we didn't have daily confirmation that it was a breakout. And why do I say that, right? So I'm going to remind everyone what that means. So in order for that to be a confirmed move above and out of this parallel, we would have needed to see a daily close above it. Now check that out. Look how close that came, but it did not close above it. And it was on decreasing volume. So you kind of knew that we were going to get this pullback, at least to the bottom of the parallel, and potentially further. And you can see today, on Friday, we're making a move back into the parallel, okay? So what is it likely to do from here? Well, let's first look at the RSI. So the RSI has turned back over and is curling down. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this kind of come back in and retest this low, and maybe even retest this 103 area, and maybe that becomes a spike. Maybe it becomes a wick, and then it shoots back up. I was hoping it was going to break out here and we were going to test the upper end of this parallel. It didn't do that, and we got our rejection. The funny thing is, though, it's July 4th, and July 4th weekend, there's a lot of, there could be a lot of manipulation. So I'm going to take this price action with a grain of salt, and we'll see how it resolves Sunday, and we'll see how the weekly candle closes. Now, for the weekly candle right now, it was shaping up to be a pretty nice continuation candle with, a hammer candle, but it looks like it's pulling back in. So, we'll need to see. Could it still create bullish consolidation? Could this still be that bull flag and then rip higher? Of course. So we have that, right? So now I want to go back to historical, right? And I want to look back at what we did previously. So similar, we talked about that M. Now here we had the same kind of thing happen where we had the flagpole and we had the bullish consolidation, and then it popped higher and it came back down. So it does look very, very similar to previous, but I do think things are massively different this time, that potentially can change this outcome, right? Because we don't want to see this. We don't want to see a similar bull flag consolidation, pop up higher, only to be rejected, and then come down all the way to the lower end of the parallel. Because if that happens, we're looking at a $55,000, $60,000 Bitcoin. I just don't see it with the market the way it is right now. But anything's possible, guys. So keep this on your radar. Keep this as a real possibility. Also, I want to look at this demand zone real quick because it just kind of popped on into my purview here. So, this demand zone can be drawn kind of like this, right? So what are we, and how do I create that, right? I created it with these kind of pivot top high, these highs, but candle closes, not the wicks. And the same thing kind of here where you want to capture the low end of the candle closes. So you have this kind of range. Now, the beauty of that is, through this process, we got above it, we confirmed above it, and we back tested it, right? I like seeing this. We back tested it. So, there's a couple ways to obviously look at this, and, trend lines and channels and all of that are subjective, right? You could draw your trend lines on the wicks. I could draw mine on the candle closes. Like I always say, I go for multiple touch points. And candle closes are important, and they'll help you to get those multiple touch points. And you seem to get better resistance and support levels. Now, can you overthrow and can you wick through on both sides? Of course you can. But that's how I like to draw them. So yeah, that's kind of how I see Bitcoin. I don't know that there's a whole lot more here other than what would this look like, right? What are the things we want to look for, provided we curl back up and start moving higher? Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to not have a candle close today inside this parallel. Hopefully it comes back up and we can see a candle close above 108,600. That would be ideal. That would be a really good look. Then what you want to see is a confirming candle move above this high right here. So you want to see a close above kind of the 110 range. Then what we do, what that sets us up for, is a move higher. It sets us up for a move here, right? And then ideally, what would I like to see? I'd like to see something like this. And then boom, a move higher. So let me just put that there. So let me move this down. Sorry about that. I got to the top end and I kind of ran out of room. So let's redo that. So I would like to see, well, this would be good too. Boom, and then consolidate on the top of the channel. Actually, that would almost be better, right? Because then that sets you up for a higher move upwards. So that would be a good look. Consolidating at the lower end of that would be nice because it would signal a breakout with some power. But this would be a nice little move right here. So let's draw this up a little higher and see where that would take us, right? That potentially could take us like that. We could retrace here. And that could be a really good entry, guys, right? So if you're not ready to buy this breakout or you're not holding already, what you'd want to see is that move to about 125,000. Then you'd buy this. You'd buy this retrace right here. That's the ideal entry for this right now. It wouldn't be, well, you obviously could buy this breakout, but then your risk to reward ratio is kind of small because you'd only be coming in here. So it really depends kind of where you're at, what you're looking at. I'm a long-term hodler of Bitcoin, so I don't trade my core position. What I do is I trade around it. So I use IBIT and I sell covered calls against it to collect income. As that's my personal trading strategy. But I am long right now the 2x ETF, the volatility for Bitcoin, because I do think we're gonna see a move and see some volatility to the upward direction. So anyways, so that's my take. I hope that this helped you and was what you're looking for. If it was, if it wasn't, either way, please comment below. Give me some love. Hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you see the value in this analysis. And at the end of the day, I hope to to teach everybody, and give you guys the education that I have, so that you can analyze these charts, you know, the same way, and look at them subjectively, and look at really both sides, the bearish side and the bullish side, because you have to be prepared. That's what trading is all about, right? Being prepared, being able to act on a plan, have a trading plan, and have your different levels already kind of set, and know where this stuff's going, and that's going to make you a more profitable trader. And yeah, that's kind of all I have. But I hope everyone has an unbelievable 4th of July. Be safe out there. Don't blow up your fingers. Don't do anything crazy, because you need your fingers to trade with, right? So yeah, without fingers you can't trade, and we all like to trade. So all right, long-winded. I hope everyone has a good one. Take care, guys. See you on the next one.